Could Bernie Sanders be saving the United States? I've never seen him so clear in his message as in these days and these months. He has really found his call in the politics that he has been proclaiming for so long. And he has really found the way to express it so clearly and so deep that it really runs through many minds and hearts. He is really rallying many people and going around awakening a lot of the people in the United States to that idea that they should hold on to. At the same time, when you look at the administration with the president and his people, I believe there is a symptom that really makes them who they are, and that's the individual in the United States. Many times when we look at leaders, we believe that they are guilty in many of the actions and politics they have been taking. But truly, if we look deep enough, they are the symptoms and the mirror of the individuals who are behind it. Many people do not really believe that this great country, the United States of America, carrying the freedom of speech and belief and aid to human lives around the globe, can turn so quickly into a situation where it's very exciting actually to follow. But truly, it is a mirror of the people who are living in the United States, and not really just a strange phenomena that this is happening. It's a country built on ideals, but it's also built on greed and built on misuse and corruption. And this has taken hold so deep on politicians and people and in power that, well, maybe the people who are running things today are just symptoms of what has been beneath the surface for so long. But can Bernie Sanders really turn the tide and make things go in a direction where people can awaken? And what will happen if that force becomes so big that it will oppose the sitting force of the people in power right now? Will it come to a clash, a kind of big troubles ahead, or will it be solved democratically and peacefully? This is very exciting times. We are writing history and living it, living a new chapter in world history and in the United States in particular. Some of my friends I've been talking to with deep insight in history and knowledge about what's going on, they can relate to this situation as I do, seeing traits from World War II and the area and the decade before it, how sometimes some of the people can go along too far with a leader or a group of people misusing some kind of power and turning people into some kind of mechanisms for their goals, also turning the constitutions to their goals, and in that way taking over in a way that can be demolishing for that foundation that it has been built on. That's what happened in Germany in the 30s. And some see that these mechanisms are repeating themselves as we are speaking by threatening people indirectly into different behaviors and opposing others. All this has Bernie Sanders been talking about very clearly and pointing out by name and numbers and saying things as he has insight in and as he understands. But the big question is, where are we going from here, and how will that also reflect on Europe? Will Europe become the new superpower, or could it be that we are going into a situation where the United States will withdraw for a while and maybe look at its internal affairs and isolationist situation, just like before World War I, and Europe has to take all the trouble solving its internal and external troubles with the borders and the Russians and the Middle East and so on. And will they be able to do that? Or will they turn against each other and fragment inside themselves, since the European Union isn't that big and solid power base that it looks like? There is a lot of cracks and bureaucracy and troubles inside it that experts can point out, showing that it's not that flexible. So can it flex its muscles? And why all this use of money on militarism in the European Union and the big nations inside it? And how will that be used later when people go more and more towards intolerant views of each other and the policies that they are facing, will maybe again go towards a kind of change of constitution. It's because, in my opinion, the individual has changed. The person who had this consciousness and that idea of serving a nation, whether it's in the United States or in Europe or Middle East or wherever you are, the individual has gone into a great egoism and a way of greed that has taken over so deep. We are in days of hedonism. Everyone wants the lust and nobody wants the duty. Everybody wants the benefits and no one would like to take the costs, but some do take the cost, and some go very cynically and misuse a lot of people to gain power and to gain what they think is more happiness through money and through their goals, and they succeed, and so they think this is the way life should go on. But at the same time, this is affecting people like a cancer, growing inside each heart and mind of every worker and every citizen and every tradesman, that, well, if this man can get away with cheating, and if the system is corrupt, and if our people are not willing to help each other anymore, and there are no morals and no God above us, and there is nothing to stop me as an individual, I just have to push my will through and or die trying. And so in that situation, we end up in a cynicism that takes away that kind of common understanding that has been that has been the core of the people in the United States and in Europe and in other places in the world. It will become that jungle that we have built for, like, just accept it, because we do not want any consequences, and everybody should just go and pursue their goals without any limits. If you can succeed by cheating, good luck. You're a lucky man. Congratulations to you. It's no problem. And if you left others in the mud and in the guts, what's the problem in that? If you can succeed as a person, that means you're clever enough to get beyond everyone else. And that kind of cynicism taking hold in the hearts of minds of many people, or maybe scaring a lot of people as well, is what we see today, symptomatic in the world leaders. They are not more good or worse than the common man. They are just seeing the same mechanisms and they have access to use it. So they say, well, if you were in my position, you will do the same. And so this is the problem, basically, that where we are headed is towards a kind of self-destructive mode, because everyone has taken over this greed, egoism, cynical view of life as a jungle where we have to fight our way through, and only the strongest will fit and survive and get the pleasures whenever you can get them. Forget about the duties and the morals and the values that you should carry with you. But people has still a lot of good in them, and that's what Bernie Sanders is actually showing in his speeches and in this resonating voice that he has in the people's ears. So that's why some people are waking up saying, what are we doing? And should we continue on this road? And how can we turn the tide? The problem is, and the big question, will they be able to save the United States and turn the tides? Because the people in power, they think they are doing the right thing for themselves and for the people around them and for the nation. I believe they think they are doing the right thing for the nation because they can see it's deeply corrupt, it's a misuse of power, persecuting people in different ways has been going on, and they can see, well, now it's my turn, let me use it the best I can to my benefit and the benefit of people around me, and maybe it will help the nation in the end. So I do not see them as crooks, the people sitting in power, being opposed by Bernie Sanders, but I see them as symptoms of a situation that's gone so far. Democracy, as they say themselves, these people from the NRX movement and the billionaires, well, they say democracy is a shallow casing that has nothing in it. It's just become a shell. It's become a front for something that's not really working. Oligarchies are already inside the governments, and people are already under corruption and abuse of power. So where is it all? What's the difference? That we are now taking hold and changing the society towards a feudalistic capitalism that will let the rich people rule as they are allowed to because of their money and power. why hide it and hide their face behind all these beautiful ideas of voting and participation and so on? So this is their cynical view, and they are showing it to the people and going along with it. The question is, will people accept the other view that Bernie Sanders and others are taking on, saying that we will change the tide? Will they be able to? And what kind of opposing power will go against them? Will people look and see them as idealists and good people who are changing the system? Or will they look at them as, oh no, we're going back to the old system. We do not like that. At least here we have a fair chance. Maybe some jobs will come, and we are now opposing this kind of masquerade that has been going on for so long. This is the trouble. People cannot really see through the people who are talking anymore. But he have a chance. He could maybe turn the tide. He is speaking very clearly, more clearly than ever, in my opinion, and he has really a strong voice into that debate, showing people that it's now that they have to stand up and defend the Constitution and defend the grounds on which the society is built. But if people already has seen the rottenness in the society foundation and saying, well, it's not really that fair that you think, it's only fair for the rich and the powerful and the people who knows them, but all the people and the rest of the people are not really getting the benefits that they should. So why not let it rot totally, and let's have a big change. Let's go back to some new old systems or something totally different. They don't care. At least many people would say, well, what am I fighting for? And this is a big question. What will they be fighting for? What's the real change that's going to happen if they remove the people who are ruling right now? This is going to affect the whole world the next years. And what I can see, and my friends were talking sometimes, that well, in these few years, things can change so much that there is no going back. It's not just 2-3 years of a government ruling in a certain way, and then things will be put back after the next vote. Maybe they would change things so much and so to the root, so deep to the root, that it will be very difficult to tackle later. So it's very, very exciting and scary times of changes. A chapter in history is being written as we are speaking here, and this is a voice in the void as usual. But well, why not share the thoughts with so many others on these issues, because we are all thinking it and talking about it, but not many people can see that the rottenness is in the individual in the first place. Our leaders are the mirror of who we are as people and who we are as humans. We get the leaders that we deserve, basically. And when we have a system that's working somehow, it's because we believe that these values are common for us all. And when the system is broken and gets misused more and more, well, it will affect like a cancer, spreading out to more and more citizens and people wherever you ever are. And if there is no cleaning up, no transparency that is working, even the transparency people are not transparent. And even those who are trying to clean up from the media has their own agenda. So where are we really? It's a really rotten basket, some people would say. And so can it be turned and can it be cleaned up? This is the big question. Will people believe again that they can go back to a foundation where people can find their freedom and equality and human rights and basic, basic openness that is in society to pursue your own goal and happiness in solidarity with your human fellow and in a compassion for the people who have less. So where are we going? But I like the message of Bernie Sanders, and he's burning through. He's really talking very clearly and very strongly on where people should stand. So he found his fight, and he's gonna fight it to the end. And it's exciting if they're gonna let him, and how far he's gonna get, and also what kind of opposing force he's gonna evoke in those people that would not like what he's saying, and how will that gradually affect the rest of the world if the biggest democratic power with the ideals of freedom and liberty is being turned against itself into a kind of pseudo civil war battle. This is very exciting times, and well, my heart is pounding because wow, we are really in a quick pace for some strange way of changes that can suddenly shake up the world system, and not only in trade. It usually starts in trade, but it ends in a total different place altogether. This is how history has been moving until now. We see the traits, as some of the historians talking about civilizations, how they rise and fall. They see the change come from the woman. When the woman change, and then we have this hedonistic society that's only pursuing pleasure, and the knowledge becomes shallow, and then you have very, very tough education levels that's not really functioning and working, and you have jurisdictional systems that are corrupt from inside. Well, riches get richer, and people with power get more, while the people on the bottom who has to fight for this society and keep it running, they cannot associate themselves with it anymore, and in the end it becomes so rotten nobody can believe it can be fixed, and so another power takes over. It falls on itself in a kind of wars or pseudo wars that can be a way of cleaning up the mess, or maybe just taking its big and huge position from it so others can emerge as the new powers of the world. I don't know. Are we heading there? And what kind of different powers is there to oppose? And would they use it as a leverage to change things, to hurry up in that process? Because once it happens, it's not easy to turn back, and it will become a mess. So good luck, Bernie Sanders, trying to save the United States with your voice, and I'm excited if it will go on like this. Well, I like the United States, and I like the Americans, and I really like a lot of the values they have been carrying, even though they also have negative sides that people have been more and more aware of. Cynicism in international politics as one, but also some of the values that has changed over the years. That's really disappointing in the United States. So I don't know where we're heading. I can only follow, like so many others, and I'm following Bernie Sanders to see what kind of effect it will have.